I'm assuming that we're live. I have the live stream pulled up. I think it's probably just gonna jump right to me saying something in the middle of a sentence. But hi, everyone. I hope that you guys are having a great day. We have a small panel. This is a super chill stream today. We're just gonna talk about whatever. I am gonna talk about some YouTube stuff, at the very least on my end, and the podcast that Anna and I are doing. But right now, the main objective is to just chill, see how everyone's doing.
I'm good.
It's good to hear. So why doesn't everyone take some time to talk a little bit about their day? If you don't feel like sharing, that's fine. I'm the sort of person that, like, I don't have a real distinction between online and offline, which is probably not a good thing, but, like, I talk about my day all the time, so.
Who wants to go first?
I will if
Cool.
everyone's feeling shy.
I'm always shy.
Oh, okay. I had a good day. I didn't get enough sleep. I was stomped on by my pet. She also has this habit of slapping me awake to say, "Hey, you, food now." Okay, yes, ma'am. I'll do what you say. So there was a lot of that. I did some work with Snarky today, and we had fun, and we had a nice chat. And I worked on drawings, and one of them turned out so terrible that of course, I had to put it up on Patreon. And then the other thing was, laundry, cleaning, writing, more writing. Trying to record something for Bub, but it didn't turn out right, so I have to try like another 50 times.
Well, I got okay, so I've got a diabetic ulcer on one of my toes.
Oh no.
It's nothing major, okay? It's just like, even when the doctor saw it, it's small, whatever. But like, I was up in northern Canada and they didn't have facilities to treat it. So they were trying to treat it since like April. They sent me to Montreal at the end of September, and then it was just a bunch of long bureaucratic BS. Finally got to see a doctor who can actually treat it, and then he gave me a prescription for an orthopedic boot, because basically he was saying, okay, you need this boot to stop your foot from rubbing, so that, like, that's one of the things that's stopping it from healing, is the toe keeps rubbing, it keeps getting dead skin, and like proper skin isn't healing. So I went in, they made a form for my leg and everything. I got the boot today. Like, oh my God. It's got like, so one of my feet has about 3-inch platforms and the other one has nothing. And I have to wear this, like, even if I'm in the house. So like, I'm wearing like flip-flops on one foot and like 3-inch platforms on the other. So I'm trying to figure out how to walk in this thing. So that's been my afternoon.
They didn't give you two?
No, because it's only for the one foot, right? So
that doesn't make sense. You're gonna throw off your spine.
Whatever. I mean, it's a temporary thing. It's only a couple of months at the most.
Oh, okay.
But it's, and once that gets done, then they'll make me orthotics for my shoes, both feet and everything, to make sure that, like, none of my toes rub or anything like that. But it's just funny. Like I said, I've been trying to learn how to like walk with this thing right now.
Oh my. Worrisome.
That sucks. I'm sorry.
Hey, look, I ate my way into diabetes, so I accept anything that happens with it. So.
I hope that things get better. I know that, like, having an injury on your foot or otherwise having a harder time walking because of like surgical instruments or medical devices it's a rough thing to get used to.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, this is for a couple of months, and I mean, everyone has looked at it, like, once I saw the proper doctor and everything, he's like, yeah, just a couple of months in that, and just getting what they're doing now, like to change the dressing and cut away the dead skin and stuff. He said it'll heal fine in about 2 months. So there's no pain or anything with it. There's no pain. I wouldn't even know it's really there, except giant hole in the bottom of my toe.
Oh.
But yeah,
it's just life, right? I mean,
exactly.
Your body falls apart, but hey, you're not your body, right? You just live in it for a while.
Exactly.
So
Oh, dear.
I had quesadillas that I made, and they were delicious.
Bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm Hispanic, and even I don't react that intensely to when someone has Hispanic food.
I'm just saying.
They are delicious. So, I got a lot of work done thanks to a wonderful friend of mine named Wonder Lady.
Yeah.
Wonder Lady. I really enjoyed making this series that we've been doing, Seneca's on Anger. It's been a
Yeah.
lot of fun and a lot of. It makes you think, and I like to think it's fun for me.
I think that's the important part.
Yeah.
So what, are you like doing a series on Seneca's writings, or what
Yes.
exactly? Okay, cool.
It's a lot of fun, especially since I don't like philosophy. So she's enjoying it.
Yeah, but I don't know. Okay, but like the few times we've talked, you may say you don't like philosophy, but I mean, we're talking about ideas and we're talking about, certain things, and that's all grounded in philosophy.
Don't
can get a
confuse the issue with facts.
This is America. We don't need facts in our conversations.
So
it was on The Simpsons. Religion has no place in these schools, just like facts have no place in these textbooks.
right.
I know, I heard that a lot, but yeah. I'm stubborn.
Crafty, do
Oh,
you
what I
feel
mean-
like sharing anything about your day? If you don't, that's fine. But if you want to, you can.
I would if I had something to share, but really just went to work, had a normal day at work, and drove home, and I'm cooking, so not much to say.
I'm glad you decided to join us. For Crafty and I have been in a handful of live streams together over on Wonder Lady's channel, but this is the first time he's been on one of my live streams, and it's the same thing for Obaid. So it's nice to have new folks coming on down.
Yes.
Okay, I just because because I was on one with you before.
It was on Wonder Lady's channel, though. We were in an after party. Yeah.
All right, I wasn't sure. Okay.
But yeah, and I had a really chill day. I went to work. For those of you who don't know, I work at the American Humanist Association. I had a lot of fun doing the stuff that I've been doing. I'm a social justice intern, so it's very much in line with like the sort of things that I write about. And then I came home, started getting ready for the live streams. Not the live streams, like there's more than one. There's just this one today. But yeah, tomorrow Wonder Lady and I are having a live stream over on her channel. And then on Thursday, Anna and I are recording our podcast, Thought Train.
Which is exciting.
I'm super excited for it. We were having a lot of time. We were having a hard time deciding what we wanted to do the first episode on. And we ultimately decided to just sort of embrace the thought train joke. And we're having our first episode on sex education. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, that is fun.
Gonna talk about sex? Cool.
If you're going to talk about sex education, one thing you might want to look at is just because Ontario had a new premier elected recently, and he rolled back the sex education curriculum to like the 1990s level or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then just today there was a whole bunch of protests going on. I mean, there had been protests, but I think today was like a really large protest from the parents and families and school boards and stuff, asking him to reconsider what he's going to go do. Like I said, I'm not trying to vary your thing, but if you're doing on that, it's something that's topical and it's in the news right now. Well, at least in Canada.
I'll definitely look into that. So the whole purpose of the Thought Train, it's not like a super serious podcast. We're not going to talk about like serious stuff. It's mostly to get Anna comfortable with like recording and like creating content, because I'm trying to get her to make videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah. she's watching the live stream right now. I actually don't know if she is. I'm assuming. I think she's probably making dinner, so I don't know if she's gonna be able to. Although if she texts me and she wants to,
as a content creator.
Oh, join us in general.
Yeah.
In the sort of like general sense, yes.
Right, because I don't want to pressure anyone to joining the the live chat because that would be rude. But yeah, join us, Anna. Join us.
I'm making dinner and I'm here, so I don't know what the excuse is.
Oh, you'll pressure her. I see.
We are practicing call-out culture over here on Luciano's Logic.
I'm just here to say, you do what you want to do.
Like the conversations we've had, it's like she likes the sort of stuff, not like necessarily the sort of stuff that I do on my channel, but like I feel bad talking about her like she's not like in the conversation. She is. She's in the comment section. But like like we've had conversations about this, and she's one of those people like me. She's like, we're millennials and all we do is spend time on YouTube. We watch way more YouTube than we watch like TV. Yeah. So like I really like creating content, and I've been creating content for over a year now. I started this YouTube channel a while ago, but I actually started making videos with some level of consistency in November of 2017. I had gotten a video camera from Best Buy, and I just started making videos, and now I'm over here live streaming, having conversations. It's really neat.
Show off. Sorry, I had to. It's fun.
I mean, I like it, and I think that there are lots of other people who do too. And I know that like she does want to create content, but like people get nervous and stuff. And also like live streaming and recording stuff is like a whole different monster. Like a lot of people, I know a ton of people who are just like, yeah, I'd love to have a YouTube channel, but one, I don't know what I'd make content about, and also like I don't know like if I have the sort of personality that's good for making videos. One of the next videos I upload, like one of the next unique videos I upload, is going to be me trying to be like more energetic and more energized, and that's very much not my style, so I'm interested in seeing how it's gonna go.
That's all right, but man, whatever, try it, like if actually
I'm with that.
I've been kind of humming and hawing because like I've been doing a small one with a couple other people, and we're pretty inconsistent. One of the people who was doing it, she was moving and stuff, and she had a bunch of stuff going on, so she was unable to do it for a few months. We're gonna go back at it in January, but then I was also thinking like, because that one's a very narrow focus. We're just speaking with people who've left faiths and to see the commonalities and stuff between them. But I was thinking about doing one just talking to people about anything and just going like as long as you can and not having any kind of specific goal, but like, obviously, I want to do things that interest me. So
yeah,
yes, like, philosophy in the sense of like, things like the Enlightenment would be stuff, science would be things, obviously religion and things like that. So I'm just humming and hawing because like I've got, like I said, with this boot and all that, I've got about 2 to 3 months where I'm going to be sitting at home doing absolutely nothing. So I might as well make productive use of my time. So.
Mm-hmm.
What are you passionate about?
Well, for me, like I love science, but at the same time as well, like my biggest dog in any fight is free speech. And so anything along those lines, but, talk to someone like whatever. Okay. I love to go camping and stuff. I have a telescope. I love astronomy. So talk to someone about that for a couple hours, right? Or whatever. I don't care. Just try to start finding people and have different conversations about anything. And just, obviously it's gotta be something that interests me. Like I'm not going to have a conversation on crochet. I mean, I'm sure there's people who find it interesting, but I'm not one of them.
Oh, come on. Talk to me about knitting.
Talk needles to me.
Yeah, no. Yeah. What is it? Pearl once? I don't even know. See, that's as far as I know.
Knit pearl too.
Yeah, there you go. That's all I know.
What about you, Crafty? Do you have a channel?
Not really. I got one created, but I don't have anything on it because I haven't put anything on it yet. So maybe someday.
Would you like to? I mean, I hope I'm not asking anything that's inadvertently really personal, just in case I am.
So my desire for something like that, it would be more of like almost maybe like documenting stuff that I do in real life. My thought for something like that was maybe like a little mini series or something on how to decorate your vehicle with Christmas lights. Because I have a number of years of experience doing that. I just haven't felt it this year, so I've kind of didn't take that opportunity to do that. But something that's a little more interactive for me, something that's I'm actually following one of my hobbies, and people might also actually get something out of watching that. So when I find something else that kind of piques my interest, I might put that up on there. But for the moment, I don't really have anything lined up for that.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Like, I want to be an activist, and I want to have a career in activism, which is part of the reason I'm like not necessarily always on that grind, but I'm always trying to create new and like unique content. That way people have like a reason to see what it is that I'm up to. And that's part of the reason I like stuff like Twitter and like YouTube. And a lot of my views, not my like personal views, but a lot of like the views and the content that I create come from Twitter, because that's where I have like the most active content.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm passionate about Snark, and I'm a snarky activist, and I do my best to make people think and hopefully laugh. Sometimes at me, but that's fine.
Oh.
That's about 80% of my Twitter content is that, because I mean it's all pretty much all I do is just make snarky comments, and I mean every now and then I'll say something, but for the most part it's just, it's the place is a cesspool. I mean, there's
That's fair. Like,
That's putting it lightly.
You aren't wrong.
No, but honestly, I mean, just go in there and make a snarky comment and walk away. It's and you don't have to be mean about it either. Like, you can make snarky comments and not be mean about it, but it's just, there's no other point really. Like, I don't bother getting involved in people writing back to you and stuff like that. It's just, I mean, granted, like, obviously I do that sometimes, but for the most part, I just couldn't be bothered.
Well, I do want to make sure that everyone remembers that anytime they use Snark, they use my name. They do so in my name.
Do you give us all authority to act on your behalf and to be like your representative?
No.
No? What about me?
No.
Aw. I'm just doing my best, you guys.
I mean, you can do your best to represent the Snark if you would wish, but I cannot say that all Snark is an endorsement from Snarky.
But like in the extended YouTube like lore of our community, we're related, so we're like cousins.
I will note that down. I will make a note of it, and I will get back to you. Don't call us. We'll call you.
I'm going rogue.
You're going rogue?
Anytime you say something snarky, make sure you put in the trademark in there in order to indicate that you're referencing that from Miss Snarky.
Yeah, and I do sometimes claim royalties. So
I'm the Napster of Snark.
So I think my main thing is to enjoy Luciano and Christy coming on my channel first.
Oh my!
If they're willing.
Oh.
We're gonna go back to that old joke.
No, we're not. No, we're not. We're gonna indulge this moment and appreciate.
Did I say something awful?
I want to appreciate all the hard work that Luciano and Christy have been doing, and you as well, Faye. Y'all have put out some amazing content. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have that opportunity. Like it's gonna sound kind of sappy, and that's kind of because it is. But I genuinely enjoy the opportunities to go onto Wonder Lady's channel and interact with her audience, and like make friends from that specific community, especially because many of those people have come over and have joined like my community and comment on the stuff I make and know of me because I go on other people's channels like Wonder Ladies.
So, Faye, what were you saying? I'm sorry I interrupted you.
I think I already said it, but
Well, what else do you plan to do with your channel that you're looking forward to?
Oh, well, I'm going to be doing some serious feminist videos, and I know I can hear the cringes already. I promise it's not that bad.
I'm actually really interested in that. Like, one of the things that worries me about like not necessarily making feministic content, but I turned off my camera because I'm like writing text messages and I don't want to like look like I'm not paying attention because that's kind of rude. But like there's a discourse in some humanistic communities where it's like, can men be considered feminists?
Yes.
And like, I know most people I know say yes, and men and women included, but I know that like for some people it's like a man can't be, and I'm not going to say what is correct or what isn't. I'm going to let people have their own conclusions there. But if someone says that like men can't be feminists, then I at least hope that like what I do and what I say is like aligned with the goals of feminism. And I know that feminism is like hella cringe for a lot of people, including people in the skeptical community. But I think that feminism, at the very least in its like idealized form, is a good thing.
Definitely. I think it's time to take the name back. I think people are so busy defining it and pushing it into the jello molds that they're not getting the point.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're just talking about everyone being treated equally and
yeah,
given,
basically.
you know, like that's what it should be. But like you said, yeah, it morphs and it changes, and you know,
well, what drives me freaking crazy, and sorry for cursing on your channel,
Frickin'.
is the fact that they can sit there, and when I say they, I don't mean they, I mean they. They can sit there and they can be like, oh well, women just want to take over, or some of the dumb things that they say, and it's just like, or men can't be feminists, or all men are rapists. Well, you hear that crap in churches too. You know, it's like, oh, women, you have to be modest because the guy sitting next to you will attack you as soon as you leave this building.
Yeah.
Why aren't men upset about that?
Well,
Why
you know, go ahead.
no, but
Go ahead.
it's the same in Islam, right? So
Basically, yeah. It's
okay,
like,
I mean, that's why you wear the hijab, and that's definitely why you wear the niqab and the you know, the ayaba and the shador, all that, and you put it on because you want to stop the lust of men.
that's
and
ridiculous.
It's okay. I watched this yesterday, and I'm not a huge. I haven't watched like one of Ruben's podcasts, but some people were talking about this, and I watched it. And he had that guy from Australia on, Imam Tawhidi.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm not a fan of that guy. I find him quite extreme, and some of the things he says. I mean, he like basically said, okay, if you have a terrorist, just take him out back and put a bullet to his head. There's no need for a trial, right? So I mean, like, he's gone far as to say stuff like that. But someone had put something out somewhere, and he said, "Oh my God," he said something horrible. But so he's talking about the niqab, and he said, "Oh well, you know, in Iran, it's like if you see them wearing it up inside out, it's just prostitutes." And he goes, some of the most filthy and disgusting women I know wear the niqab, and it was just like, okay, the thing is bad enough, but he's saying stuff like that, and they're saying, okay, you know, like you said, it's a sexuality, and then you see them put it on 5-year-old girls, and it's like, well, what sexuality does a 5-year-old girl have? So yeah, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, but when you talk about in church with the modesty culture, like I said, the niqab and all that, same thing.
That drives me crazy too, and the idea that anyone would think of a 5-year-old as a sexual being bothers me.
But I mean, that guy saying that too yesterday, like, oh, some of the most disgusting women I know are the ones who wear the niqab. It's like, okay, there's these women who are forced to wear this and they don't want to, and you're just calling them disgusting. And the inside out thing too, a bunch of women in Saudi Arabia started wearing it inside out to protest the fact that they have to wear it. And he's equating them to prostitutes. It's like, because he said, oh, the prostitutes in Iran used to do that. So I'm like, come on. So like it's a tough balance there. You got to like call it out for what it is, but you can't go as far as that guy did yesterday. And he's supposed to be.
No. The modesty thing that bothers me is the fact that they are basically telling you that all men are animals and have no self-control.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's that.
That part drives me insane, because it's the women who turn around and go, oh, that's not right, we should be able to dress the way we want, blah 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 blah, at least the women I know. But yet at the same time, the men just sit there and they're quiet. You don't hear them going, I'm not an animal.
Okay, but the thing in the church, like, think about it like 100 years ago, let's just say, right? And in Islam, this still goes. It was segregated. So if you go to like hardcore Baptist or evangelical, they won't be dancing. Men and women, they won't be segregated by a curtain or anything like they might be in like some conservative Muslim places, but they'll separate. And in Islam, it's the same thing. Like, the two sexes don't mix, so you don't know how to act with each other. So you're 16 and you see a woman in a hijab and she's just dressed, like really like modestly, and like, I don't even want to use the term modestly, but she's just covering herself up. She's just wearing a hijab. She's not even wearing like the niqab or anything. And they'll get excited by it because they've never seen a woman. It was the same thing in the United States with Christians. Like, go back to the 1800s or the early 20th century. It was still a lot of segregation between the sexes. There was, especially in like the rural communities and stuff. And so they didn't know how to act with each other. So they had to have these stupid rules.
It's just unhealthy.
Oh no, I'm not saying it. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying, like, that's where it's coming from, and that's why they do it. And
I understand that part, but I don't approve of the message from churches and from like people who are just like automatically going, well, men are rapists, so you need to dress modestly around them because you can't trust them.
How belittling to men.
It is.
Y'all ain't nothing but a bunch of rapists. I mean, that's literally what you're saying to people. And that's awful. It's awful to say that about men.
It is. But
you
the
came
thing
on
is,
at a really great time, guys.
Hi, Duke.
It's the feminists who get accused of calling all men rapists, but when you think about it, the message was already there.
Yeah, it's kind of like
boys will be boys.
I've heard this saying, to the privileged, equality feels like oppression. Okay, so if you're in a privileged position and, you have somebody with a group with competing interests, right, trying to fight for equality, there's going to be some pushback, there's going to be some victim blaming, there's going to be some disgusting stuff, and we've seen it happen over and over through each movement in feminism.
I put a link in the chat just for the live stream, like not the
excellent.
YouTube chat. It just came out today, and it's long, but it's worth the read. It's something like 14 or 15,000 words.
Yeah, I opened that up earlier. It talks about
well, watch the video beforehand. The video kind of sets up the rest of the article, but it's a really good article, and it's comparing what they're calling grievance studies to religion, but it's not doing it like, okay, this is religion. Like the guy wrote a book called Why Everyone's Wrong About God, and he talks about and he tells you where he's going with it, but then at certain points he's like, okay, and he explains to you why it isn't exactly a religion, but he bases the article kind of on the premise that it's built up sort of like a religion. It's a pretty good article.
Comment on the live stream so I can make you a moderator and share it there.
Okay. I don't have the link to your channel. I can find it. Sorry, I don't.
For you, hang on.
Oh, okay. That way you because I actually opened it up too when I was silent. Yeah, if you comment in the chat, I'll make you a moderator so you can share the link.
So I noticed that they talked about Durkheim in that. And they were talking about basically a comparative between essentially all the isms to religious dogmatism kind of thing.
Okay, but the guy who wrote it was one of the 3 people who did the they were calling it the so-called squared hoax, where they had 7 papers published in feminist journals, intersectional journals, whatever. He's one of them.
Yeah, I recall this.
I made you a moderator. You should be able to link stuff now.
All right, just gonna put it in there now.
When they got things published in the journals that don't have very good.
Okay, no. Here's the thing: the first one they ever published was him and this guy Peter who goes in, who's a professor at Portland State, and they did that in a pay-to-publish journal. The 7 they just got published were in journals that have been around for like 25, 30 years. They're very reputable in their fields. And I mean, one of their papers that they published was getting an award from, I can't remember which journal it was. And they said, we've been around 25 years. This is one of the best papers we've ever read. And it was a paper on how dogs humping each other in dog parks is proof of rape culture. And they said that they looked at the genitals of 10,000 dogs. I mean, like the whole paper was so ludicrous.
I read it.
And but that was one of the things. Like if you read the article, that they'd written an article about all those papers. And I mean, this is granted, it's one side. They're saying that when we put stuff for edit, they came back to us and said, no, this isn't harsh enough. Make it harsher. So they had to make it crazier than they did. So I mean, whatever. But I found that article really interesting.
Yeah. One thing that I will say about these journals, these publishing places, is that there's not enough of a vetting system. It really isn't. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of improving the systems that are put in place.
But that's what they were trying to point out. They're saying, look at this. This is this bad. This needs to be fixed. They're like, he goes, you have stuff to study here, but you can't keep publishing this kind of stuff and be taken seriously. That's what they've stated were their goals.
Yeah, and a lot of the different types of journals have had that issue lately.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Go for it.
Just for a little bit of clarity, is this the 3 people that were putting out the fake studies to highlight the problem with peer reviews? Is that
Well,
putting out a bunch of studies?
Yeah. Peer review in like what they were calling grievance studies. So like feminist studies, intersectionality, critical race theory, whatever.
It was thing.
Yeah, but I put a link to an article that one of them wrote.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up. I'm going to read it a little bit later.
And this is not this is not something that he did as a hoax. He's like I said, he's also written a book called Why Everyone's Wrong About God. And the book came out 6-7 years ago now, maybe. Could be wrong. But yeah, it's been around a while. He is, I don't know. Anyway, I think he's fairly well considered.
Yeah, there's also Harari, Noah.
You all Harari. Yeah, Sapiens
the Sapiens guy. He also said that socialism and feminism were religions, and I disagree with him.
I wouldn't consider them religions. Like I said, I would read this article because that's not exactly what he's arguing. He's showing some similarities, and he's saying like certain things are being used from this side. But just like I said, just read it. It's hard to
I'll read it. It just reminds me of that book. It's a good book, Sapien.
It's a great book.
His new one though, 21 Problems for the 21st Century. That's excellent.
I think I read that one actually.
That's his latest one that just came out.
So, Duke, how's your day going?
It's on my read list.
My day was pretty fantastic, man. I stayed up way too late on a private hangout, and then I got up early, and I went to work, and nothing much. I'm counting down the days. I get my daughter back on Saturday, so.
Oh, that's really nice. I don't know how to do private hangouts, but if I did, I probably would, just because like chats like this are really fun for me, and I'm happy to see folks engaging in like the comment section. But I know some people, like I have friends in the YouTube community and in like the Twitter community who don't like that, like they don't like having chill hangouts. They'd rather like engage socially in other ways, even if it's like Skype calls or something.
Yeah, so the way I do it is that every link that's been given out since whatever is pretty well still active. So if you just want to have a private stream, you just pick a link that's been dead, that's not been live anymore, and you just share that link and everybody jumps on it. And I got the idea from Artie, because that's what he does. Because he doesn't know how to create a hangout. So he just takes old links and posts them.
But there's other ways of doing it.
Yeah, you just go into Google.
I can't because I don't have a computer. I have my phone only.
But you can go through the Hangouts app itself.
Yeah. You just go through the app. You go through the app, say start a call, and then it'll ask you who you want to invite. You can keep the call private, and only the people you invite get in on the call.
Sure, but I don't have anybody's emails or private like phone number, any of that stuff. Everybody I'm doing is through Twitter, and it won't.
It'll give you a link.
It won't let me make a link.
My number is 8675309.
That's funny. No, honestly, I've actually tried to look it up on Google. Like, I can't figure out a way for an Android phone to actually make a link from the phone.
Yeah, but Android, like Hangouts, is made by Google, and Android is what Google uses for all their phones. Like Samsung's made to work with Google, man. It's gonna work.
Okay, it's never worked.
You guys are way more technologically literate than I am, because I have no idea how to do any of this sort of stuff.
How old is the phone?
It's a Note 5.
Okay, it should work then.
Yeah.
It never gives me the option. It shows me I can invite a bunch of people that are already in my contacts, but it doesn't give me any other options besides that.
Okay, look, whatever. I mean, I've got an Android phone. I'll make you a little doc, and I'll put it in the link of this chat, like after we're done.
Okay.
It's it can't be that hard.
When you open up Google Hangouts, do you see on your phone? Do you see a little green plus?
Let's see, Hangouts. Oh, I'm in a Hangout, so it won't let me.
We're all doing our best, you guys.
Okay.
I don't know. Every time I've gone in there, I hit the green plus to start a call. It shows me my contact list. It says pick somebody from your contact list or somebody's email address or something along those lines.
No, but if you look down, you can also see another thing on the green that says group, and you just write in a thing for the group. And then underneath that, you will see, once you put the group in, it'll say invite, and there's the email thing, but there's also share by link. And you hit share by link, you copy the link, and you can give the link out.
Okay, I'll give it a shot later. I think every time I've been in there, I haven't been able to find that. But
okay.
Thank you for joining Luciano's tech support hour.
I mean, that'd be I would be flattered if I knew how to do any of this sort of stuff. I'm worse than an infant when it comes to technology. Like you guys can ask Wonder Lady. The other week when we had our first like after party on my channel, I was so excited when I sent out the link to the Google Hangout and it actually worked and she was able to come on in. It's bad.
No, that's cute. It totally is. I'm a Luddite. Like, straight up, I'm a Luddite. I'm scared of this stuff.
Well, if anyone wants a generic link to a private chat that's not connected to this, I put the link in the side. In case people want to chat with each other while we're chatting. I don't know.
Oh, to illustrate that, remember yesterday during the actual live stream, I thought I muted myself. I went and I went out and my mom was calling me for dinner because I live with my family. Like, I live with my mom and dad. And like, my mom's usually the person who like makes dinner. Yesterday she made dinner when I was live streaming, and I actually went out and like you could hear me yell. I asked Inordinate Refraction later on after the live stream. And it was clearly audible. And that's not even the first time I've done that. I did that on Black Sofa Vlog stream.
You didn't take a pee on an open mic.
True. I'm not that bad. I just
I was one time running a dungeon run, and someone said, "Hold on," and they thought they muted themselves, and we all heard them take a pee. And when they came back, and we're just sitting there going, "Really? Really?" They were so embarrassed, but it wasn't the first time, and it wouldn't be the last time. So.
That wasn't me at all.
No. This was 13 years ago, before I knew any of you.
That sounds like something I would do, though. Just saying.
I'm not that bad, but that's mostly because I'm just like, yeah, if I'm going to make a mistake on technology, it's going to be something that will hopefully be a little bit endearing. Not something that will like scar people. Not something that will scar people.
Godless Cranium went live and didn't know it, and had a conversation with his fiance for like 15 minutes before he knew he was live.
That's something that would happen to me, to be completely honest.
It was cute.
It is cute.
The weirdest people.
Godless Cranium's tweets are Godless Cranium tweets some of the funniest things. I don't know if you guys saw it yesterday, but yesterday he tweeted about like how he was watching a video where someone called him Brainless Cranium, and his fiance could hear it because she was like right next to him. And he went to go do something, and she's like, "No, come back. I want to hear him call you a tool again."
Yeah. Godless Cranium's Twitter is lit. I love his videos too.
I think he's the best.
He is.
I think for response videos at least, I think he makes the best content out of everybody.
Quality, top shelf content right there.
I gained almost half of my subscribers because of that time I went on his channel. Like,
with Dean?
Yeah, with Dean. I want to do more collaborations, although I don't really like debates, although that was a fun one. But I think that was mostly because it was a topic that I'm just like, I feel super strongly about this. I'm ready. And then it just ended up being like a really strange day for everyone involved, because like the debate went how no one expected it.
Yeah, it ended up being a debate between you and Kyle, other than you and
yeah, instead of
that
me and
was
Dean.
The Twilight Zone, dude. That was the Twilight Zone.
I'll never forget that.
People still comment on that video from time to time. Like the newest, I checked yesterday just out of curiosity. The newest comment was from like, I think 2 weeks ago.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That was a while back too.
It was in like, I think it was in like April. Yeah.
It was wasn't it right directly after Luciano, after you and I had the online debate, the Twitter exchange with SJ and Eve?
Yeah, that was when Eve. Subject? That was when Eve blocked me, and I don't even know why, because like I don't remember saying anything overly harsh. That's the thing that's like weird to me.
Because you weren't overly harsh, and Eve can't stand, or at least the people who run Eve can't stand like anyone who's like moderate and keeps their cool. Like it's not going to end up in her goading you into a block. So
well, the entire conversation was a shit show anyway.
Well, you know, shit shows can be fun.
It was a little bit fun, but it got frustrating.
We do like flinging some shit around.
Yeah, we do.
But it's more fun to watch other people do it.
It got really like frustrating towards the end though, because like the only thing that they just kept repeating, minors are used for prostitution over and over again, and both of us kept saying, yeah, we think that's wrong and should be illegal. We're not talking about that.
The thing that's like really weird to me about like that sort of argumentation in like the legalized prostitution debate is like for some reason people seem to be under this impression that if you legalize prostitution, that's going to be the last law to ever get passed, and like whatever happens after that is just like anyone's guess. Like society isn't going to collapse if prostitution's legalized. We're going to be able to continue making laws.
No, it's like Jenga. Once you legalize prostitution, everything just tumbles down.
It's a slippery slope.
The only thing holding together are laws and morals.
And the next thing you know, people are marrying their damn goats.
Yeah, marrying a painting of Jack Sparrow or some shit. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cuss.
Or marrying and divorcing 300-year-old ghosts.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, the interesting thing about it is that the fact that prostitution is illegal doesn't stop child prostitution.
Yeah.
So the fact that we don't allow consenting adults to choose why and when they have sex doesn't stop child prostitution. So it's not even a moot point. It's not even a good point.
Oh, stop it, Duke. You're making too much sense.
Yeah, we can't have facts in America. This is my America.
That's right.
Ain't you a patriot?
Yeah, I actually have a go-to, like a box statement for that whenever I always say, as an American, your facts enrage, infuriate, and confuse me.
Oh.
Always enraged.
My plants are dying.
I'm sorry, your plants are dying.
Is it too cold?
Are they microgreens?
I didn't mean to say that out loud. No, they're my outdoor plants for the summer. They're getting cold.
That's funny. I think everybody's had those kind of slip up on live streams. Like I remember I was on one of Neil's and I got a really dodgy DM from somebody, like a really weird one, and I just saw it pop up and I clicked on it, and like if you watch the stream, you just hear me go, "What the?" Everybody's like, "What happened?" I was like, "Nothing. I'll deal with it later." Sorry about that. Didn't mean to derail the conversations.
Look, this is an after party. We came over here to chill. This is the weirdest after party ever, because if you guys weren't here yesterday, then like no one knows what this is an after party about. It's not really an after party about anything. We're just here to have fun, to be honest.
That's my favorite thing. I actually prefer, like, I don't prefer, but I mean, I really like setting up the private hangouts like you were talking about earlier, because there is something really cool about just everybody being able to get in there and talk, and you know, it's not like you don't have that extra desire or need to feel like you have to somehow make it entertaining for the people that are watching. You know what I mean? It can just be like you know what I mean? Like it's like the online equivalent of everybody meeting up at the pub and having to talk. Just having a little hangout.
There's no like actual bar here.
The bar is in our hearts.
It's not about the alcohol on the outside. It's about the alcohol on the inside.
I really do better with a topic. Oh, and Anna wrote, "Your facts are against my religion."
Isn't that something? Your religion.
This is America.
It's kind of like the trend, you know.
Did you guys see my response to SJ that got her a little upset with me?
No.
What did you say? I'm interested now.
She said, "Jesus loves you" to me, and I told her to leave my sweet, soft Latino lover out of it.
Hello, yes, it is I.
Oh my god! Oh shit!
Yes, you know, nobody messes with dead Jesus. I don't know if you guys have seen Nazi.
Oh yeah.
I changed the verbiage there. I don't want to get you in trouble on YouTube.
I need an adult.
I am
an adult. I'm actually I'm probably the youngest person here. I don't know Crafty's age. That's the one person that I'm just like,
I mean, I had a birthday recently, so...
Oh, hey, so did I. Actually, no, my birthday was a month ago as of a couple of days, so it wasn't super recent.
Oh, I wish I would have known that. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. I think I did something. I might have done a hangout on my birthday. I was in someone's hangout on my birthday. That's what it was.
Yeah, I remember talking to you on your birthday.
Yeah, I think it was Wonder Lady. I'm pretty sure it was, wasn't it?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, it was November 16th, which was a couple of Fridays ago.
I know I said happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
I think almost every day that week. Because I'm weird that way.
Now I want to go back and through my Twitter feed to see if I can go back far enough to see if I said happy birthday to you. Because if I didn't, I'm going to be mad at myself.
No, it's fine. I talked a little bit about it on Twitter, but mostly like the main place it came up was in the live stream. That was a really fun live stream too. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, the little manlet is live. Nicholas J. Fuentes, the little sweater manlet, is live right now.
That's a name that I'm familiar with, but I don't know why. Is he a pastor?
Oh, he is alt-right. He's the pseudo, what was it, America First? He is God, I've been dogpiled by his fans like twice. Because he puts out those like a woman's place is in the house, a man's place is in the job, or some crap like that. And I'll always spin it on its head and show that it works both directions. And then like they come at me with the dumbest arguments ever, and it's somewhat amusing. It's kind of funny. Because they always come back to breastfeeding. Like, how are you going to feed the baby? And it's like, well, I don't know if you realize this, but it's the 21st century.
Yeah, you
things
can
like
milk
pumps.
anything with nipples.
Yeah. Oh, I have nipples. Can you milk me?
I'm sorry.
So how do you guys feel? I don't know if you guys paid any attention to the Tumblr like ban on all adult stuff. The thing I want to talk about very briefly is like their whole thing with female presenting nipples, which is like the dumbest shit in the world. You guys can cuss on my channel. I don't know why people were acting like they couldn't cuss earlier.
Wait, what were you saying about Edward Gaines' obsession with nipples? Didn't he make a nipple belt?
I don't know who Edward Gaines is, but honestly, probably.
Edward Gaines was he was the inspiration for Psycho. And for the character of Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs.
He was
what was the other one? Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's like a shut-in. Mama was really, really religious, and she died. And he went nuts and started skinning people.
Well,
he only killed like two or three people.
Yeah, he mostly was a grave robber.
I was gonna say most of the bodies came from the grave, except for maybe 2 women.
Yeah, 2 women.
Did you ever see Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original?
No, I did not. But it's one of Anna's favorite movies.
Awful.
They actually the inside of the house is a dedicated recreation of some of the things that they found in Ed Gein's house, where he had made like furniture out of bones and stuff like that.
Yeah,
there's actually scenes in that movie that are direct homages. Yeah, he made a bowl out of a human skull.
Yeah.
He made a suit out of women that he would wear and dance around in his front yard in the moonlight and sing to.
He had a belt of nipples. Where he had lips on his like window screen pullers.
Yeah, that guy Buffalo Bill and Silence of the Lambs was also inspired by again the suit. We're talking about crazy stuff on this channel.
Well, his nickname from the police was Leatherface.
Right.
So he's been inspirational in a lot of stuff. He was like one of the most one of the earlier. And he's like the first serial killer of the 20th century, wasn't he? He wasn't the first American serial killer. That was I can't remember the guy's name, but I know his last words were, "Hurry up, you Hoosier bastard! I can kill 10 people while you're getting the rope ready right before they hanged him." Car Panzram or something like that. Anyways, but he was like one of the first serial killers of the 20th century. It was like televised. It was horrific. It was just like, it just shocked people.
Yeah, I don't know about that, though, because if it was televised, that's the 50s? You know, so, like, I would say...
televised. Maybe
No,
not televised.
but I wouldn't say that I'm not saying that it wasn't televised, but if it was televised, there would be serial killers before him in the 20th century. That would be too late in the 20th century.
I think the one that they call the first and not necessarily was the first, because there was a couple of colonial groups that did killing, but not in a sexual way. And I don't even know if he did it in a sexual way. I think he did it for money, but they're saying H.H. Holmes.
Yeah, H.H. Holmes was a serial killer for certain.
You guys know a lot more about serial killers than I do.
He was in the 1800s.
Right. No. Yeah, I was saying of the 20th century, not in American history. So H.H. Holmes was one, and then there's another guy that unlike Holmes, because Holmes set up that hotel, and he had
hotel.
Yeah, and he had rooms that he would pipe the CO2 into and kill people that way. The other guy's Carl Pandrum was the guy I was talking about earlier, and he died in 1930, but I think he was active in the late 1800s, 1892, and he actually traveled around all over the place killing people.
Well, Albert Fish was another one, but he was in like 1830s.
Oh.
Okay, they got a guy, Bertha Guilford, 1900 to 1928, 3 proven killed, 17 suspected.
Right.
There's a couple more from 1900. There's Belle Gunness, 25 proven killed, 1900 to 1908.
Didn't Albert Fish overload the electric chair from all the needles he'd inserted in himself? Or something weird like that?
Albert Fish, all known as Werewolf of Wisteria, a sadist and pedophile who cannibalized several children. He
was executed by electric chair. That might just be an urban legend. I'd heard something about that before.
He did have a lot of needles. Like I've seen the X-rays and stuff.
He inserted them in his junk.
Yeah, and his junk, his hips, and stuff.
Sorry,
sorry,
Luciano, for talking about
the thing that I've learned from this is that we need to have a serial killer stream. I need to read up on serial killers, and we need to have a true crime chill cast one of these next couple of weeks. I'm gonna do these more often, both like private ones just for fun, and also like chill ones just for chill ones actually for YouTube. But now we're starting to get really close to an hour, so we're gonna do the thing that we do over on Wonder Lady's channel. And since this is an after party, we're gonna endorse somebody. I'll go ahead and go first to make it easier for other folks. The person I'm gonna endorse is Lily Cuervo Logic. She's one of my faves, and she's an ex-Muslim. She was on my channel on Sunday. Super cool. Yeah. And if you guys aren't subscribed to her, you absolutely should be. She's hella smart.
Yay!
All right, I'm going to endorse Lavender Lady.
Hell yeah.
And Scientist Mel, both of them. Mostly because Scientist Mel had the greatest YouTube moment of all time the other day.
What was it?
Oh, she called Kent Hovind, and he answered live.
Oh, man, someone needs to link that video because I want to go see that.
It was the greatest thing ever. I was so proud of her.
Yeah.
So I wanted to plug Tatted Philosophy's channel. He is at 291 subscribers, and it would be really awesome if we could get him to 300 before Christmas. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Thanks. I'll put his link in there.
Also, since we're doing the Christmas stuff, I'm gonna say it would be really cool if I could get to 250 before Christmas. I'm only 10 away. I got a subscriber in this chat, which was really weird. Like a few minutes ago, I just got a notification. It's like, hey, you got a new subscriber. I'm only 10 away, and that's super neat.
Awesome! Yay!
That is super neat.
Everybody tweet Luciano out.
Definitely.
I will as soon as I get back. I used to tweet people out all the time.
I
Go ahead,
am
sorry.
going to endorse Day. And I'm going to put his link in the chat for
Can
the
you
video.
talk? Can you talk a little bit about they first?
Yeah. They does conspiracy videos.
Oh, that's one of the things Anna and I are going to talk about in the podcast.
Nice.
Well, when anyone blames they for something, he takes credit. And sometimes he has to correct what they're saying because the person who's making the video may not understand exactly what they did.
That makes so much sense. I just now understood the purpose of the name.
Yes, so I think he's clever and funny, and I just really enjoy the content, and the quality of the videos is very good.
Yes.
Sorry.
His production value is amazing, and he is hilarious. Definitely subscribe.
Mm-hmm. So
Snark
I put the link in the chat, but he has very few videos, but he's been uploading a lot lately, like more than normal. So I say jump on the bandwagon and give him some support because the content is good and the human is better than the content. So there you go.
Did y'all hear him?
No.
Okay.
What?
Gio's on another thing, and he's screaming, "What the fuck?"
I heard something, and I heard it come from like your end. I didn't know what it was, so I'm glad you just outed your husband. Husband shaming over here.
You know something funny is that I got actually spaced out for a second, and when I do that, I talk to myself. And when you said that, for a half a second, I panicked and thought I'd said something.
All right, so does anyone else want to endorse anybody?
I don't really know a lot of.
You can endorse yourself. This is also an opportunity to self-plug.
You can endorse your Twitter.
I was going to say there's a guy who makes videos. He's got a couple thousand followers on Twitter. I don't know how many people watch his channel, but he chronicled the whole thing in Evergreen really well, and now he's starting to make other videos and other interviews and stuff like that. His name is Benjamin Boyce. I don't even know what his channel link is. I guess I could find it, but you can find him on Twitter and you can find him on YouTube with Benjamin Boyce. Does a lot of good stuff.
All right, Crafty, before we end the stream, do you want to endorse anybody? You don't have to, but...
Just everyone here, I guess. I don't have a whole lot of... I don't do a whole lot on Twitter stuff, but I always have a podcast I can recommend if I need to say something.
Sure.
Actually, I'll put the link in for this. This goes back conveniently enough to the serial killer conversation. It's related to that, but this is for a one of my favorite podcasts, 99% Invisible. I guess if I had to endorse someone, I'd endorse Roman Mars, who produces it or created it. 99% Invisible is basically for anyone who likes design, and that's not even a really good description for it because it's the name of the podcast basically comes from the stuff that we don't see. It's from I think it's from an actual book or some famous person or something that summarized like 99% of the stuff that takes to run the modern world or something. I'm butchering this quote, by the way. Is 99% of it is invisible. And there's a bunch of different episodes they have in there. Some deal like directly with building design, others deal with like social designs and different things like that. So it's a really good podcast, though.
Awesome. I love podcasts.
So with that, we're going to go ahead and end the stream. The only thing that I'm going to say before we say farewell, at the very least in like the public broadcast, is that tomorrow Wonder Lady and I are live streaming. This is a usual week for us. I will be live streaming next Monday too, which is Christmas Eve. I don't expect folks to come because I know most people are going to be like with their families and stuff. But
I'll be there.
If you guys do come, I hope that we can have some fun comments. I don't even know what it is that we're going to chat about. I think it might just be like a random live stream where I take notes and just talk about a thing instead of like the usual peace and conflict study stuff. But we'll see you guys around. Thank you for coming out. And that includes all the people, the lovely people who are with me in the actual live chat, because this was a lot of fun. We got to talk about a lot of different stuff. And this is not going to be a super regular thing, but there will be more after parties like this in the future.
Excellent.
Thanks a lot.